All right, and welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. So markets down again. S&P down 1 3/4. Triple Q's down 2.5. Dow down just under 1.5 here. And what we're seeing here is a very light volume sell-off again. Just like yesterday, we talked about this, how there was only around 70 million shares traded around 2 o'clock. Today we had just under 80 million shares at 2 o'clock. Now we are going to clip 100 million by the close. There's about 10-12 minutes left, but this is not really heavy sell volume considering the market is down almost 2%. When you have a 2% down day in the market, typically you're going to have 130, 150 million shares traded. One of these days here, you see the volume surging up in this range here. We're not seeing that right now, and the reason why the market is unable to bottom here is there just isn't enough liquidity at the lows. What I mean by that is everybody who wanted to puke up their shares already did it back here. They already got stopped out, and that's why we're seeing stocks kind of like, we talked about this a little bit, like PayPal, Roku, Facebook even. Look at the volume here on the decline here. As Facebook is dropping, the volume is declining. Everybody who kind of puked up, look at Roku here. I'm actually getting a bid now. Zoom came off the lows yesterday. It's just all these beaten down stocks. We're running into a lack of sellers, and there are buyers out there via the dark pools right now, but there's not enough liquidity. There needs to be shorts jumping on. I think we need to pierce this low, honestly, 420, because the market needs either fresh shorts or it needs to hit stops, and we're not getting that right now. And that's why, we saw that short covering the last 2 days into the close. They weren't able to take out stops, so we had shorts cover. Looks like they're going to try and pound it into the close today, and maybe that'll induce some fear. I think we need to have a gap down and maybe a flush in the first half hour to hour of the day, and that's when the market can probably put in a bottom and reverse. So that's kind of what I've got penciled in right now. But I do think it's not surprising to me that they're pushing it down right now, because they need to induce fear here. Let's look at the VIX. The VIX is not taking out the highs. It hasn't even taken out yesterday's highs. So there's no fear yet, and they're trying to induce that in order to get the squeeze, the fuel for the squeeze that they need, but it's just not quite there yet. So that's really what I'm seeing on the tape right now. If you look at, for instance, Apple, look how much Apple is down today, and look at the volume. I mean, there's no trading volume. It's like this is all just algo selling, retail selling. There's no real big money dumping this thing. Same thing on Tesla. Look at the volume. I mean, it's upticking a little bit. I will say though, Tesla needs to hold this pivot here by the end of the month. If it doesn't do that, this becomes a $500 stock very quickly. But there is very good support here right now on Tesla. But my point is, right now, there just isn't that short liquidity. There aren't stops getting hit here. Everybody who wanted to sell has already sold. At least that's what I'm seeing right now. So I think we need a gap down. We need to pierce through this 420 low and basically just hit the stops and get the Johnny come lately shorts to jump on board. And that'll allow for the market to put in a short-term bottom. Anyways, triple Qs here. So they did take out the lows. You can see that yesterday got basically to double bottom, now piercing through that. So we're probably getting pretty close here on the triple Qs. Diamond here, that's got through double bottom as well here on the diamond. This is a good area of support though. I think this, again, if we gap down into that 327 area, 326, you got a gap fill right here. There's decent support there on the diamond. So that should hold up. But again, I think we need to see a push down tomorrow. IWM losing that pivot there and that green bar. So, again, this may want to go down and test the lows as well. So really kind of seeing the same thing across the board. It'll be interesting to see if we get a little bit of short covering into the close here just from day traders and whatnot. But in any case, let's move over here, look at a few sectors. So semis, again, down like everything else, losing this green bar low. So again, that probably has to go down and test that 255 area, maybe down and test that tail candle low as well around 250. Again, I wouldn't rule that out in a gap down. IGV, same kind of deal. I think IGV has good weekly support coming up pretty soon though. Right in this range here, right in that 310 area, there's some pretty good support there for IGV, but nonetheless, it has been a weak name as we've been documenting for quite a while now. Dow Transports, Again, getting through double bottom. If it loses this, you've got a ton of support down here in the low 14,000s. This is where it tried to break down, it reversed, so you're always going to have support in that range. But Dow Transport's getting hit just like everything else today. Home builders also continuing lower. I'm disappointed in this. I wanted to get a short off on this. I was looking for this to consolidate just a little bit more here. Got nice weekly consolidation. I was looking for a little bit more, and this one just kind of got away. But in any case, this one coming down, you got that 100-week moving average actually coming up pretty soon. So right in that low 60 area, this will be a good area of support here. You got nice chop there and that 100-week MA, but home builders getting hit. VNQ also taking a hit as well. So that is into double bottom, actually piercing double bottom. And we got a good level here right around $100. So that, that may be coming into some support here shortly. Let's take a look at yields. So yields getting a bounce off that 20 moving average, again holding that green bar here. So inside bar, not a huge move for yields today. Just kind of run of the mill. We talked about it probably getting a bounce off of that 20 moving average. Same thing on the 30-year inside of this green bar as well. Nothing really spectacular going on there. High yield debt, on the other hand, so it's kind of holding this green bar for now, and it's starting to dip here a little bit as we get closer to the close. You want to see that green bar low hold. So high yield debt has definitely been a problem. It's definitely the elephant in the room right now, but it is holding up for now, and we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. If it can hold this tail low, then maybe the market can put in a bottom, especially if we get a gap down and we get a lot of shorts to come in. Anyways, let's move over here. Financial, so XLF, again flirting with that 200 moving average. There is good support in this area. JPM did take a big hit today, down almost 2.5% here. I still think there's really good support around that 147 handle. So there should be good support in there, but it is getting hit just like everything else. Goldman slipping a little bit today too, but there is good support right in this range on that chart. Broker dealers also getting hit a little bit. This has support a little bit lower around 470, 465. All right, so energy, XLE here. So now we had that big reversal yesterday, and now we're kind of having an inside day here. Same thing with the XOP, OIH. So now what we want to look for here is patterns. So if we get any sort of bearish chop here, that could tell you that XLE wants to head lower. But it's too early to tell right now, but we'll definitely continue to monitor that moving forward. And crude, one thing I noticed about crude so far is it's a short week, but this is the first week in quite some time here that we haven't made a new high. So we've made higher highs every single week. Going back really to the 13th of December, that week right there. That was the last week where we didn't make a higher high. So, it's still 2 days left. But, I've been talking about this really since Sunday, since the news broke, or I should say Monday, since the news broke. And I was saying, you notice how crude hasn't made new highs. It hasn't taken out the 52-week high. And with all this news, you'd think that'd be bullish for crude, but it's still not making higher highs. So that's a little bit of a divergence. We'll continue to monitor that. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just, doing some backing and filling right now, but it is worth keeping an eye on. Anyway, so nat gas. So I talked about this pattern. So now it's starting to set up here. So you potentially have a bullish inside bar. It's not the greatest one. It's a smaller one, but yeah, this could be setting up for a move here. So again, a measured move could possibly bring it back up to the highs. This inside bar would probably run out of steam around $5, but you do have a measured move from here to here, and that takes you right up to about the highs there. But again, would not surprise me if it got right back up there, as it's been pretty much all over the map lately, as you guys are well aware of. Dollar index, not a whole lot going on, kind of just a little bit of a update here. If it gets through this high, then maybe it wants to go up and hit that 97 handle again, but overall, really the last couple of weeks has just been hanging in there, not doing a whole lot. So gold, we've seen gold start to inch up here towards the end of the session here on the GLD there. We had that big doji yesterday. It is starting to retest the highs. We'll see if it can make a new high. Again, the level to watch here on gold is 1919.20. If we get a close above that by Tuesday, all bets are off on gold. So that's really what we're watching right now. I'm not really concerned with anything else at the moment. Silver, actually surprised a little bit here today. So you did get through that 200 moving average. We'll see if it gets rejected tomorrow. You do have this double top, but impressive move. Nope. Had like a little 1 bar pullback off that, now making a higher high. So a nice move for silver. The one thing I'll notice though, GDX not making a new high, and SIL not making a new high. So the miners not quite confirming this move yet, but if the miners start to break out, that could be telling us something. So just keep an eye on that. Platinum, Again, setting up here, not a terrible pattern, right? So, we had this nice bullish inside bar. If we can get another one, then we can make another move, another advance here. And then palladium, I've been showing you guys this pattern. This one looks to potentially be on breakout. So it looks like we're going to get above this high here. And yeah, I really don't see anything wrong with it. I like the weekly. I would have preferred it to consolidate for, maybe one more week, because it's probably going to stall out around this 2600 handle. But nice move there for palladium. And we've been watching that one for a while. I like that pattern on the weekly. Copper, not a whole lot doing today. It is starting to drip lower here. Again, we talked about this inside bar yesterday. So if that starts to break down, copper is going to head down to that 425 handle. So that is the level there that we are watching. And then finally, let's look over at Bitcoin here. So again, not a whole lot going on here on Bitcoin. Let's expand this chart a little bit. There we go. So kind of an inside day to yesterday. Not a really clean pattern here going on. Same thing here on Ether. What I am concerned with here on crypto. So if we flip over to a weekly, you do have a bearish inside bar here. Now you do have a smaller bullish inside bar inside of it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here, but the dominant one is bearish. However, that does mean we could get a pop here over the next couple of weeks if this green bar, would play out. So as long as we don't close above this red bar high, this is still a bearish inside bar. But in the meantime, we could get a bid here. You see the same thing there on Bitcoin. Just interesting to note that. But if you do close above that red bar high, that opens the door for new highs in the crypto space. Anyways, there's the closing bell. So let's flip over here to the spiders. Yeah, so no real short covering. They did same thing as yesterday. So somebody bought a lot on market here right into the close here. So an interesting little move, market on close buy volume. And that's really the only time that there's that much liquidity in for these guys to buy. So that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is there's just not enough liquidity. There's not enough shorts or stops being hit. But, always in the last 10 minutes of the day, there's always that liquidity. So maybe that's where, maybe they got off a few orders there. But in any case, I think we need to, we had a close at the lows today. In the last couple of days, we got off the lows a little bit. They, had some short covering into the close, but today we closed right at the low. So I think there's a chance we gap down tomorrow. And if we get capitulation volume, that could be how we put in a near-term bottom. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.